catch.
So snaps back. Helton punts it. Nice punt. It's going to take a Viking roll down inside the 30-yard line.
Oh, and Panthers just let it go, which I'm okay with. Is, hey, the longer it is, if we could just take and play smart football, get it down the field, this is what we used to like to see. You probably heard me say many times, it's that you just grind it out here. The farther back it goes, the better off it is for the Panthers.
So the Panthers will take over at their own 29-yard line. 10-14 left in the third quarter. Panthers up 29-15.
How about that defense, though? Give kudos to that defense before we move on to the offense.
Exactly.
I have to say that.
I was about to say that myself. The handoff, Colton Chambers to the right side. He wiggles his way through, up for about 7 or 8 yards.
That's yeah.
I mean, just makes moves, finds the hole. It's nice. It's nice to have these running backs back on the field.
Well, and when you look at that,
the vision is just
exactly, and that's in a phone booth. You know, when you're looking at the room he had, it was basically the width of an old phone booth. Now I know the young ones out there don't know what that is, but that's what it was.
So they fire off. They hand it up the middle, and they're just driving. And I mean, man, he is still going. I think that's Cohen Blunt. Yep. And we've got a flag at the end of the play there.
I don't know. I thought the Panthers just playing it through just until that whistle doesn't blow. You play to that whistle.
That's right. And Cohen Blunt loses his helmet on that, and a flag flies. I think that's going to be against the Vikings.
Yeah, for a face mask.
Right. I mean, they were just driving. And, I mean, you know, you don't lose a helmet without someone grabbing it, right?
Right.
So I know the Viking fans on this side are a little upset, but man, that seems pretty legit. So,
well, right now the Panther offense with that little break though it still didn't stop the Panthers. The Panthers are moving the ball consistently. And you could tell they worked on a lot of the little things.
Handoff this side. It's Mabane. He's going to shoot through the gap. Oh,
wow.
Man, number 3, Sims, gets him right at the end. Otherwise, he's taking that to the house.
Yeah, and I mean, he went through that hole, and it sounded like this.
So back to the line. Bryce hands it off straight up the middle. I think that was Chapa. And he hits a Viking wall. It was.
Yeah.
And he did not.
I think Ship was the first one in on it. Number 15 came right inside and read the play, though. That's what he did. So sometimes you just take a chance and guess right.
That's right. And it looks like it's no gain for the Panthers.
Better than going backwards.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the Viking 22-yard line.
Is this one of those times you talked about earlier? Let's see a pass.
Maybe a pass. No, Bryce is going to do the follow, and he's going to go lean forward. He's going to get some, looks like about 3 yards on the play. Yeah, it looks like he had some room on the outside, but he did cut it back up inside. But, not quite, about 3 yards. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Panthers at the 20-yard line of the Vikings. 8:13, and the clock is ticking in the third quarter.
Yeah, big third down play coming up here for the Panthers.
It is.
Got to make it happen.
So they hand off this side, Mabane. It looks like he's going to get to the outside. He is, and he is going to go in for an easy score for the Panthers. 20-yard touchdown for Antoine Mabane, and he is fired up, folks.
Wow. You know, that one little inside-out move, and you're talking about a little jab step, jump cut. He did it right there at the end just to get to the outside. Good job by Mr. Mabane.
The hold is down. The kick is up.
Ooh, let's see if it
went to no good. Sneed misses the extra point.
Yeah, and all the other ones look so good. And then, hey, but thank goodness we went for that 2 earlier, but it doesn't help since that 2-point conversion was made by the Vikings. But right now the Panthers have basically that 3-score lead we talk about, you know, and you have a lot to work with. Now I think the Panthers have to really start looking at when they have the ball. This is funny to say. you don't want very many big plays and take it down the field to give them opportunities quickly. You want to just grind it out, take your time, and do that as well. So, hey, and the QR code for our, I got to remember that, the QR code for our audiovisual club, you know, we get that for the donations. So we'd like to see that real quick. Thank you, Javier, for getting that up for us and reminding us too. But remember, this is all the proceeds go toward the audiovisual club that they're starting here to put these broadcasts together. We have students running the cameras, the computers, and we're the only talking ahead.
So Landry Blackburn does an onside kick, and it's bobbled.
And who's going to come up with it?
I'm not sure who got it. The Vikings think they got it. The Panthers think they got it.
And let's see what comes about here.
Lago Vista's going to take possession of that football.
It is Lago Vista Viking football.
Yeah, and wow.
I am not sure who. It was a big scrum there.
Yeah, and a good job. I saw one of the Panthers come through. The ball hits the Lago Vista player's hands, and a Panther knocks it from it, and the ball's just flying everywhere. It's already went past the 10 yards. So,
right.
You know, when they touch it, it's a live ball as well.
And
so
it was nice because the initial Viking didn't grab the ball. So,
right.
You know.
Do you think it was at the right time, though, having that 3-score lead, being up by 20 points, you know, is that the right time? I don't know. But sometimes you got to take chances to get big rewards.
So Vikings take over at their own 47. Back to pass to Staub. He's got some receivers running open. He throws it deep. Bryce Naw playing it and just knocks it down.
Yeah. Good job, because this time it wasn't about – we just talked about that.
Right.
In halftime. Is if you can't get underneath it or you can't make the interception, just knock it down. You can't quite see the full ball where it's at. Don't try to intercept it. Just knock it down.
Noel played center field on that.
Oh, good.
And I could see him tracking the ball in the air and just came up and just slapped it down.
Right. I was just a little worried when you start running backwards on those plays, the ball could get over your head.
Right.
Luckily, he's about 6'2", so he can knock it down.
Correct. So that brings up 2nd and 10, shotgun. He's rolling right. He's got some ton of pressure. The ball's knocked loose. Who jumps on it? It looks like Navarro might have jumped on that, but we'll see.
Oh, my goodness. Come right back to Bowen.
No,
Little Herring. Little Herring, I'm sorry.
Little Herring, the 5'5" running back, jumps on it and saves the Vikings on that one. But you know,
what did I was going to say, what did you see on that? Because I saw a great job between Bo Brumley and Rangel.
Right.
You know, Gabriel Rangel was able to come in, took up the blocker, and allowed Bo Brumley to shed that blocker because it was taken up by Rangel. And you saw Bowen Staub over here with the coach frustrated.
So trips to the near side, 3rd and they do hand it off, and Matthew Richardson, and a host of other Panthers. Arias and a bunch of other Panthers were in there. That wasn't going to fool the Panthers. And now it's 4th and a trip to San Antonio for the Vikings, and they will punt.
Yeah, which way is San Antonio? I got to – okay, that way. Yeah, this field turns me around completely.
Right.
But I have to say, though, this area is gorgeous. Where they put the stadium at and where they had the view, beautiful place to be in Lago Vista here, especially tonight with the Panthers leading 35-15.
It is an awesome night. The kick by Helton, a very high kick. Bryce Nall's just going to let it drop. It takes a huge Viking roll.
And I'm over here clapping because it's like, that's exactly what we want, because we want to take and drive the ball all the way down, take the rest of this quarter out, and we'll be happy.
So the Panthers are going to take over at their own 12-yard line, leading 35-15 with 6:24 left here in the 3rd quarter, and another big stop.
Yeah, now the Panthers have to
by the Panther D. Sorry.
That's right. Keep it together on offense. Keep doing what you're doing. Right now, you've got – I see they put Garcia inside now on the nose. So they changed some things up on defense by putting Garcia, number 52 tonight, inside.
So handoff up the middle. Good defense by the Vikings. That was Colton Chambers.
Yeah. I see,
So 2nd down and about 8, right? And
Colton Chambers going out. Mac Berry looked like he was jumping around there. got like, it looked like, you know, when you get hit on the shin, you could tell he was
Right.
like, oh, that's so painful, but you can get through it. Now, Panthers are going to take that clock way down
Yeah,
to
they are.
7
It's down
seconds.
to about 5 seconds, so. And it,
Timeout looks like called by the Panthers.
which wasn't, you know,
Timeout on the field for Navarro.
it-
Navarro.
it looked like that was probably a good
Yeah.
call because they were either going to get backed up 5 yards. So Panthers do take their first time out here in the second half. They'll have 2 left. But, man, I tell you what, 2 punts to start off the second half for the Panthers.
With their defense against Lago Vista and
Right.
scoring on their only possession of the half. This is
Right.
their second possession
That's
of
correct.
the half. So, you know, Panthers will have to take and slowly drive this ball down and make some things happen.
Right,
So,
right.
um,
Yeah, if they can punch it in here and go up, you know, 42-15,
yeah.
that would be.
I think you're just
Yeah,
about
working on
ready to
forward
put the game away if you
blocker.
do that. I'm not going to say you
Step
put it away, but you're knocking on the doorstep to say you're going to win this game. But
Right,
man, now, I mean,
mean,
Wimberley taking care of business, that's concerning, you know. But with the Panthers playing Gerald next week, you know, for homecoming,
Right.
we'll be there. And you have Wimberley leading Gerald 49-7 still at half. I haven't got the update yet, so I'm waiting to see if it's been updated on the score. But still, wow, 20-0 for Maynard New Tech over Austin Achieve.
So Panthers got the ball on their own 14-yard line. 2nd and 8. Bryce hands off straight up the middle, and a nice pickup out to about the 20-yard line.
Who was that?
Number 9, Caden Guerrero.
That's
Oh,
Caden.
Cade Guerrero. He was about 2 inches off the ground all the way running down the field, it looked like.
Right.
You know, you ever see a video where the guy goes under the cars with the roller skates?
Right.
That, to me, is what it looked like on that play.
So they mark it at the 19-yard line, so that's going to make it about 3rd and almost 4, it looks like.
Now, here's where depth comes into play. You know, you look at Lago Vista. They do look a little tired.
Oh, Lago Vista jumps. They get back. They hand it up the middle. It looks like he is going to be a little bit short.
No call as far as...
And there is another helmet.
Number 3,
Garrett's
Oh,
helmet's
man.
off.
You're going to talk about a yard to go. Do you, with being up 20 points, do you take and go, is it about 4th and 1 or 4th and 2? I'm trying to see because
Yeah,
they
they
haven't moved the down marker,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to see where it's at. It's 4th and 1, folks. In your own side of the football field, Panthers are going for it, or at least make it appear they're going, but I believe they're going to draw them off sides. And they did.
Yes.
And they did. That should be against Lago Vista, and you could, I mean, if you're Lago Vista's coaches, you've got to be pulling your hair out.
Yeah.
Because you know what they were going to do. I mean, everybody in the stadium probably with any football sense would have known.
Right.
They're going to try to draw you off sides.
That's 100% correct. And it wasn't just one Lago Vista player. There was
No.
2 or 3
Yeah.
that jumped there.
And
So
the hard count by Bryce Nall, because the Panthers have these set calls, and the way they make them is the difference in when they snap the ball.
handoff again, straight up the middle. And I tell you what, the Viking defense is locking down the Panther offensive line here. He gets about not even a half yard.
Yeah.
He's going to bring up, 2nd and 9.5.
But I still like the fact that
the clock's running.
Yeah, the clock's running.
And 4 minutes left here in the third quarter at 35.
And David Garcia's
15.
getting frustrated. Somebody's on him all the time, and
Right.
he's throwing him down just to get him off of him. And that means he's getting frustrated out there.
So they handed up the middle again. Chambers
runs into his own
squirts
player.
through to about the 30-yard line of the Panthers. Pickup of a couple of yards, but it's going to bring another third down and about 6.5.
Sorry, I stepped on you there a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
if I don't say it when I see it, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll forget it. But Colton Chambers runs into his own player, and it looked like a little miscommunication on what side he was going to read that block, and then it pushes him back.
So third down, they run it they get Mabane, and I tell you what,
Number 1, Antoine
Looks like Antoine Mabane on the carry. They wrap him up this time, coming left.
Yeah, he almost still broke that.
He did.
He is very elusive. Now the Panthers are just going to punt it. I'm okay with that.
Right.
I mean, like you said, we still have the clock running, and that's a good thing. No passes dropped. You're not stopping the clock. Now, I would have liked to seen a first down on this second set after that first set of downs.
So Bryce Nall back to punt.
He's going to let it go way down.
He's standing at about his own 16-yard line. Nice punt by Bryce, and it's going to take a roll, but it doesn't roll the right way.
Right.
It just dies right at about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and Schilke stopped it from going back, so 34-yard line will be, or they're actually putting it at the 35, I think. I thought it should have been at the 34. I know 1 yard may not make that big a difference, but I don't know that.
Right. So there's 2:21 left here in the third quarter.
Now,
and I tell you what, the Panthers, be nice to hold them here and get into the fourth quarter with a 20-point lead.
Yeah, you're going to see some desperation passes in probably this drive right here. So
yeah, you're going to see some, and maybe some trick plays.
Yes.
So shotgun formation. He's back. He looks right. He does throw it. He's got a receiver. He's open. And, man, he was running free on that side.
And that was that particular route was a nice little route. It was kind of a Z route going in and out, but making it look like he's going to slow down and come back to the ball and then takes off like a double move, very similar to that, but more of a Z route and gets between the safety and the corner.
Right.
And right in that seam and could have had a chance. That over-the-shoulder, people think, oh, that over-the-shoulder catch, that is one of the hardest catches to make because you've got to follow it all the way in, looking back at the ball.
So that was Decker Sims, number 3. He drops the pass. Would have been a sizable gain. Brings up 2nd and 10. He's back. He's going to throw it again. He's looking. He's scrambling. He's got a lot of pressure on him, and he is thrown out by Landon Taylor after a gain.
Yeah.
The Lago Vista fans don't like it. And a flag does come out. I'm not sure.
He's pointing at the coach.
Okay.
He's pointing back at the coach. This may go 15 yards.
I was going to say, I didn't
Lago
see
Vista.
anything wrong with the tackle at all.
Yeah, it wasn't inside the shoulder pads.
Nope.
It was around the jersey and lower below the name where the name tag would be.
Right.
Below that and brought down.
Right.
Oh, there's 2 penalties that go against Lago Vista, so we're going to see 30 yards.
And the hat comes off.
Yeah, when you lose the flag, you have nothing left but the hat, so that's going to be 30 yards. And he's gone. Uh-oh.
Wow.
If he gets one more, he's gone.
Wow.
I thought they were both on the
I'm not sure why you would make such a stink about that. I think if Coach Phillips saw that again, he's going to look at this tomorrow morning and go, wow, I didn't see anything wrong with that tackle.
Right. And,
So.
and you talk about after seeing some of the things we saw in the NFL where players are being swung down and that sort of thing, that's just, sometimes it's just football. You're not trying to literally hurt them. You're trying to bring them down, and that happens to be. But you can't pick up a player and you can't do the old wrestling moves with them.
So that's going to push it back all the way to about the 13-yard line of the Vikings. And remember, they started the drive at the 35.
Yeah,
so the first down is out all the way to the Viking 45-yard line. So it's second down, I'm sorry. Those are dead balls, and he just throws it deep. And Bryce Nall plays center field and knocks it down and almost tips it back to Landry Blackburn, but it didn't quite work out for him. But
Blackburn would have been able to probably take that and at least have a chance to get back another 10 or 15 yards and spread out as the players were on that if he comes up with it. But I think Bryce needs to watch it, though. Even though you play in the tip drill, not tip it up and back, knock it straight down to the ground if you're going to do that.
And Lago Vista has scored a touchdown off that they tipped it back. I watched it earlier. I think it was against LaGrange. And it went through one receiver's hand. He tips it up, and the receiver running by catches it and runs for a touchdown. So it's been done before this season.
And the one thing good about this, too, is that it'll take some time off the clock as they have to make their way all the way down. But Panthers again, Lance, you cannot let anybody behind them. I mean, it's just you do not let anybody come close to the 45-yard line.
That's right. That's right. And let's see if
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm not sure. There's a big conference by the officials, and it's 3rd and 32 yards. 3rd and 32
I still don't know what the conference may be about, but I thought I heard an inadvertent whistle at the beginning of that play, but I don't know.
So
this is a long conference.
A long
here.
conference. They're going over to talk to Coach Blunt. Well, there's 2 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. It's 35-15. It's 3rd and 32. The Vikings are backed up to their own 13-yard line.
He's got his mic on. I don't think the official knew that the mic was on. You always got to pretend there's an open mic, especially as broadcasters, right?
Right.
You know, and the officials have to do the same thing. They can't hear because the band's playing.
Right. So are we having fun yet?
Oh, my goodness. What a great night. Oh, what a great night. And I couldn't hear any of it, so.
So shotgun formation. It looks like he was looking for a screen. He does try to dump it to Helton off a screen.
Oh, man, Panthers had that sniffed out.
Yes.
You know, they were supposed to be on the outside, and I believe, again, if I had to say, it was Rangel that was outside with Helton and making sure he had no way to go back in to get that ball. He protected the outside, pushed it back inside, and you see, this is what we were talking about, making Bowen Staub uncomfortable in what he's doing.
Right.
Not knowing what to do with the ball.
Right.
And the Panthers defense have done that tonight.
So
man, wow. I
goes an incomplete pass. The Vikings, it's Helton. He is standing on his own goal line. He punts it, and again, it's a rough shank. Out.
That ball is going to be about the 25-yard. I would have said 25.
He's moving back.
Right, and that's where they go, where it goes out, and then they come back at the angle. Yeah, I always hate that about, why don't you just go to the spot first, right?
Right. And that, the Panthers are going to take over at the Viking 24-yard line for their 3rd drive of the 3rd quarter here.
And talking about things falling apart for Lago Vista Vikings, I mean, when you go from 1 penalty to 2 penalties that take you back 30 yards, you got to have a little bit more composure. I hate to say this, but that was on Coach Phillips a little bit there because he's put them in a bad bad situation here. So maybe he was taking up for his quarterback though.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Right.
But I would have done it.
Man, he was hit hard. We run it right up the middle with Guerra, and man, he was popped. And I'm not sure who did that, but it's getting a little chippy out there.
Oh, yeah. And Lago Vista's not used to being pushed around like this. I mean, they got beat 71-35 to Cameron Yo, but Cameron Yo is just and
there is a Panther down. Looks like one of our linemen.
Yeah. So, real quick, if we could get back the QR code, and I wanted to make sure to get the audio visual, unless you had something else to say.
No. Let's get the QR code up.
I'll let you give the big spill on that one.
So we're going to put up the QR code, and if you haven't donated, please donate to the Audio Visual Club. They're the reason we're here tonight in Lago Vista, and the donations go straight to the club. They allow us to buy cameras and computers and whatnot to make this broadcast happen. So if you haven't donated, please donate tonight. And the students much appreciate it. We've got several students here tonight on the cameras. Got them working the computers. And, man, they're getting the hang of it. So Panthers up to the line. They hand it off. to the left side to McBain. And that was second down. It was 2nd and 9. McBain picks up a couple yards. It's going to bring 3rd down.
I'm seeing a couple, and another Panther player looks to be down as well.
Another Panther offensive lineman.
As the other offensive lineman comes back in.
Yeah, the one that just went out came back in, so that's good news. But
yeah, and now you had some other, I know we talked about in the first half, but we'd like to go over it again, and you have some information about what the band has been doing.
Well,
but you had some other things.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's get to a couple of other announcements.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of announcements here that we haven't hit yet. Volleyball this week was at Canyon Lake. They won again in 4 sets.
Yoo-hoo.
Right,
give them a
4
big
sets to bring their district record to 5-2. Very impressive. Overall record 15-18. Tennis won their final district match. They won that 19-0 at Somerset. That's going to bring their district record to 5-1 and an overall record of 10-2. They're going to finish, I think, 2nd in district, and they are going to go to the playoffs. So next week, be sure and root the tennis team on. The first round playoffs are going to be in Wimberley, and they're going to play Fredericksburg. And that's going to be next Tuesday, October the 11th. And, hey, Panthers, you don't have school Monday.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah, and tonight.
Here we go, 3rd down and long.
So 3rd and about 8, a quick pitch out to Colton Chambers. He's got a bunch of green grass. He cuts it back up, but he's going to get the first down. All the way down to about the 10-yard line for the Panthers.
I was watching that play and how it developed. The halfback, McBain, got 2 blocks on the play. He sealed off in the inside.
Okay.
And then he pushes that player away, and then he goes and gets another player down the line and allows Chambers to go down and make a good play. So, I mean, that was about blocking and doing the right thing, following your blocker, being patient by Chambers.
Right.
Excellent job by the Panthers.
You got to love it because that is one thing I know that has been missing in our offense is some blocking by the other backs. Handoff straight up the middle. There's not a bunch of room there.
Yeah. Colin Blunt did not have hardly anywhere to go on that one, and he was taken down hard right away.
That is going to bring up the last play of the 4th quarter. So we're going to go to the 4th quarter with the Panthers leading 35-15. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
Yes. Hallelujah. I haven't seen a nice score like that in a good while. So I'm very happy and I'm excited about what the Panthers can do. Again, remember we started this drive, if I'm not mistaken, this drive started all the way back
remember
this 34, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other one. I was like, okay, we get further back, but yes.
This one started at the Viking 24.
I thought 34 and 24 in my head, and so I got them all mixed up.
Right.
So forgive me. I'm old. Hey, and you had some other things you were going to talk about real quick, and you wanted to get those announcements out after the tennis. That's awesome to hear about tennis.
Right. So tonight we've got volleyball versus Fredericksburg at home.
I wonder if we got any.
Maybe we can pull up some results from that.
Yeah.
I know that's over by now. And then on Saturday, tomorrow, we've got cross-country time trials over at Starkey Park in Seguin. So good luck to the cross-country team tomorrow. And then next week, our Panthers no school on Monday, Panthers. Please don't go to school.
Yeah.
It's homecoming week.
Yes.
And on Tuesday, we've got, in addition to tennis, we've got volleyball at Davenport. Which Davenport, by the way, is leading the district in girls volleyball. And then on Thursday, the cross-country district meet is at Fredericksburg. So the Panthers hand it off and are stopped for basically no gain there.
Oh, man.
And I tell you, Lago Vista is bottling us up and playing some ball. And they're like, we are not going to relinquish anything between the tackles anymore.
Right.
So,
and they put David Garcia, or they did earlier. They had David Garcia and one of their other big linemen. I believe that's number 72, the other lineman in there, David Zurovitz. And so when you got those big guys up there, but they look a little tired, and
Right.
you need to take advantage of that. So that actually ended up being a loss on the play. So
Right.
about a yard.
So it's 3rd and 10 from outside the 10-yard line. Bryce hands it off to Mabane. Mabane goes to the left side, and he is inside the 5-yard line.
And you gotta love what he did. I mean, he's shifty. He's patient enough to let his blocks develop and not just take off and go down the field, you know.
Right.
And he really set up his blocks well. And I mean, I haven't seen a back that does that, you know, on a regular basis since some of the ones we've seen, you know, like Euler De Leon did a good job with that as well. And so did Johnny Allegra back in the day.
He's being very patient when he's
Yes.
running. So that's going to bring up 4th and 4 from the 4-yard line. The Panthers can get a first down at the 1. They pitch it. It's going right. He splits. He dives, and he's in for the touchdown.
Yep, he got
Colton
across the goal.
Chambers made a move, cut back, and made a heck of a move for the Panthers. And that's going to be the 2nd touchdown here.
Oh, man.
Now bring the score to the Panthers 41. And
Now another unsportsmanlike
conduct.
I'll tell you what, the line judge does not like being talked to too often. I mean, I think after having 3 unsportsmanlike conducts called against you, it's time to stop talking to the line judge.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 4 of the defense.
Right.
And on the kickoff now, this means that
Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
the Panthers, will have the ball assessed here, so you're automatically going to go for an onside. I don't see why else would you not, being up by 3 scores or more.
So 10:30 left, 10 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. The kick is up, and it is good. It's going to bring the score to 42-15. And I tell you what, man, the Vikings have completely lost their composure.
Yeah.
I have lost their minds.
You know, and that's you know, you have to look at this. If you play them again, would that be the same result? We've seen that in the past with Wimberley, so you got to be mentally prepared. Just because you beat a team one time doesn't mean you could beat them a second time if we have to meet them in the playoffs. And I think we talked about that at the break at halftime a little bit, not on the air, but off the air. And you were talking about, hey, I think if I map this out with just certain types of predictions, we could play this team in the 3rd round. It could be possible.
That's right. That's right. We can, yes. If we finish, well, no matter where we finish in the district, we could see Lago Vista or Wimberley in the 3rd round, and then we could see vice versa, Lago Vista or Wimberley in the 4th round, depending on how it all shakes out. But this might not be the last time we see the Vikings.
Yeah. Now here, I mean, maybe you play it conservative, but I wouldn't give him the ball at the 25 if you kick it in the end zone. I'd definitely, either kick it in the gap at the 10,
right,
or just go for the onside because it could be right around the 30. But make sure you make a tackle. Don't let them run it all the way back either.
So the Panthers fake it a little bit on the kickoff with their 3, and they do kick it. That's Helton, and he's brought Schwartzlosey's got him, and he's drugged down.
I tell you, Helton was hell-bent on getting out there. I'm sorry if I used a bad word, but that in my book, HE double hockey sticks. How about that? And he was going to get outside and get upfield.
Right.
And I'm telling you what, he was destined to get to that outside, but good job by the Panthers.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty added to the end of the kick. First down.
Was it offside?
Yeah, I think it was. So it was our 3 kickers deciding. They were all talking to each other, deciding on who wanted to kick that one.
All right, you get it. No, you get it. No, I thought it was your turn. No, but.
Right. So the Vikings will start at their own 35-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. So they actually end up with pretty good field position.
Yeah, that's why I said no difference in kicking an onside in that situation.
So they hand off. Nope, Stope keeps it. He makes a move. He's around the corner, and he's driven out of bounds.
Yeah, and
with a nice, it looks like he picks up the first down.
And this is one of the times, look, we've got a few other players in there, but not too many. I see a Walker Dietz out there now, a newer player, and Jacob Gilbert is out there as well, but we still have Big Bear Barry.
We've got Landon Taylor here.
Taylor.
Our corners are the same. They roll to, again, Stokes kicks it to the left side here. He gets around the corner, and he cuts back. Walker Dietz tries to grab him, and he goes for a long touchdown. And here comes a late couple flags.
Yeah,
I don't
a couple
know.
of flags that come out. So we'll see if this is going to come back or not, because even if it happens during that course,
right,
even if he's across the goal line, they could still call it back if it's against, it could be against the Panthers. So.
Right. Yeah, he tiptoed down the sidelines, and that was obviously the best run of the night from Stobe. But let's see what the penalty.
Blindside block.
Oh,
Number 55
right.
Of the offense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that's going to call. That's
going to take them.
Yeah,
back
that's going to take the. That's going to take the points off the board for the Vikings, and that's a new rule.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the blindside block, and that's very hard for players.
It is.
I mean, you know, when we talked about physicality and stuff, I wanted to bring this up. I was talking to somebody about this earlier. It's like it's really hard sometimes to get as physical because some of the things you used to do, like cut block, you got to do it between the tackle box. You can't come from outside in or even inside out. As you have to stay in that tackle box to cut somebody below for defense or offense. So
that's correct.
You're almost playing flag football.
So they are going to have the ball at the Panther 34. They pitch it out to Herring. He cuts back. He's a missed tackle in the backfield, but he is brought down after about looks like a 4-yard gain.
Well, I have to say that I don't know what I've seen before, but the Panthers defense still showing a little more speed and acceleration, and and they're playing with desire and heart. You could tell that because they're not just laying up; they're coming after you.
They are, and because that play,
it's like they've been rejuvenated, tonight.
So he's going to throw it. He looks left. He turns back to his right. He's going to throw it deep. He's got 2 defenders down. They tip it back. Oh!
And that's where you get a little scared when that ball gets tipped around, but thrown into double coverage, and that's where, again, Staub wants to take and put it in a place where hopefully his receiver can just go and get it. Right. And that's what he did there, but luckily both Panthers were there to knock the ball down. So
Walker Dietz was back there, and I think it was Jacob Arias. Rangel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, here's where they're just going to throw it down deep. You're going to look for Hail Marys or something underneath.
So 3rd and 6. Stoke keeps it. He's running left. This time, looks like he might pick up the first down.
Yeah, so you're looking at I was just here sitting there going, oh, yeah, he's going to throw it deep. He's going to throw it out, and I look, and I'm like, he's running out to the outside. But that was one of his best plays of the night, was just taking the ball, going to the outside on a quarterback keep.
Right.
But 9-10 remaining, and you're up 42-15. As long as the Panthers kind of still keep things in front of you, don't let anybody get behind you, I think you're going to be fine tonight.
Let's get us a turnover here.
Yeah, it would be nice.
1st and 10. He hands it to Herring. Herring runs off to the right side. He's stretched out, and he's tripped up. Rangel makes a heck of a tackle. Tackles his ankles.
Oh, I'm telling you, tonight is going to be the hardest night that I can imagine, and us choosing the player of the game tonight. So,
wow. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. This has been one of those nights where I'm sitting up here going, I know that we had some good offensive play tonight, but man, I'm looking at what defense has been able to do tonight. So 2nd down and long. Is the quarterback just going to run it this time?
So 2nd and 13 for the Vikings.
He's done it twice tonight in this
motion
situation.
For the jet sweep. He does hand it. He's coming around, and he's bottled up. It looks like, and he's knocked out of bounds.
11, Ethan Hutton forced out of bounds. Run number 12, Walker Dietz.
Yeah.
So the minimal gain.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 7 for the Vikings.
Yeah, they're like, this isn't inside 5 minutes. Even though it goes out of bounds, you got to still keep that clock running. First down. So 3rd and about, what is that, about 7 coming up here? And again, the Panthers just need to keep them in front. Don't let any big plays here.
3rd and 7 from the 17-yard line of the Panthers. Shotgun formation. It's blitz. He throws it, and he was looking for Calden on basically a skinny post, and he had so much pressure he had to get rid of it. He throws it a little bit short, and Bryce Knoll in the coverage, so it's going to bring 4th down.
And with that blitz coming in, left that whole right side open, so any kind of slant or any kind of post, anything was open on the inside, and all Bo and Staub had to do was throw it out in front. He just couldn't get it there.
That was, and we brought the house, right? I mean, so.
They brought the house on that right side of the offense, and that's for sure.
So 4th and 7, and Staub rolls to his right. He's got Rangel. He throws it back. Oh, and is it caught?
It's a touchdown. It does look. It's caught.
I tell you what, I thought I couldn't see who dove right in front of it, but man,
yeah,
we got a replay on that one. I'd like to see.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks
Aaron
like
Calden.
That was a great throw by Staub.
Yeah,
I thought that we would.
I thought we'd knock it down or intercept it.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. But good play by Calden.
Well, we'll see it onside.
Oh,
no,
sure. So he is. They don't get the ball down, and they are brought down quickly by number 3 Schwartzlosey.
Oh man!
And
when it goes bad, it goes really bad, doesn't it? When it rains, it pours. So. And luckily, it's not tonight. It's the Panthers. Usually, we've seen that before. And I'm telling you that 7:37, though, I mean, that's still a lot of time for a team that wants to take and put it down the field quickly. Panthers know that the onside is coming. I mean, well, at least I would feel that there's no reason. And you've got to tell your front line. This is a point where I need to make now is that front line has to know if that ball is kicked up high, call a fair catch. If they touch you before, it's going to be an automatic penalty. So call for the fair catch.
It's a good point.
You don't just wait for it and get pounded. You call for the fair catch, even if it takes one bounce and goes up. You can still call the fair catch under today's rules.
So 7:37 left in the 4th quarter. Panthers up 42-21. And it looks like the Panthers do have the hands team here to the near side. They've got Bo Brumley, Landry Blackburn, Bryce Knoll, and Landon Taylor all on the near side.
And that's where it looks like they can go, but the backside needs to be ready. So watch for this weird little pooch kick they like to do.
So backside they have Dietz and they have Schulke, and they are going to kick it to, it looks like Schulke's going to fall down on it.
Nice job. But the ball did not bounce the way Lago Vista wanted. They wanted to get that third or second hop to get up high, and it did not go the way they wanted. Schulke did a good job, though, of fielding that ball. As he goes low and he cradles it in.
He did. Nice shortstop move by Schulke.
Shortstop Schulke. I guess that's what we'll call him, right?
Right, maybe. We're coming up with a couple.
Yeah. We'll just give them nicknames all night long. But isn't that what you do with football? I've never known a team that didn't have players that didn't have nicknames, I should say.
Right.
So,
right.
Panthers need to grind it out here, though. Take that 7:37 off the clock right now.
So Panthers start at their own 44-yard line. Hand up the middle. Looks like Cohen Blunt rolls over a couple of Vikings.
Cohen Blunt.
Including Landon Taylor, it looks like. Took a little bit of the blunt, or the
the brunt of blunt.
The brunt of blunt.
Okay.
So we're having fun.
We're getting silly now,
yeah,
right?
We're having fun now, guys.
But that's what life is about, right? So you can't be serious all the time. But, right now, the Panthers taking their time, letting the clock run way down between every play on the play clock. But they've got to be conscious of just getting after it.
2nd and 8. Handoff Landon Taylor to the left side. And I tell you what, the Vikings, man, they're not giving up.
No. I just think that was such a slow developing play for the Panthers and Coach Blunt talked about this, carrying out those fakes for the other backs. They need to follow through with that.
Right.
You look back at some of those plays and you see the running backs looking back. Well, if you're looking back, they know you don't have the ball.
Correct.
You've got to be able to carry out your fakes here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a pass play at any point. We saw that in the first half for the Panthers. I thought, hey, they just would be content, and they threw the ball.
So that's going to bring up 3rd and 8. Bryce is going to keep it, going to the right side. He knocks down several Vikings on his way down inside the Viking territory.
Well, I would have liked to see another yard, but I would not punt this ball. I would come right at them here, keep that clock rolling. If you can get that first down, you're going to be able to take another 2.5 minutes off unless Lago Vista starts taking their timeouts. I think being up 21 points, 3 scores, it's going to be very difficult for Lago Vista to make any kind of big run here and score. But you don't want them to have that opportunity. So you get this 4th down play, big 4th down play for the Panthers.
So 4th and about 3 from the Lago Vista 48 Viking yard line. And we're going to have a timeout.
So, yeah, it's going to be 4th and 2. So, before we get too far down here, you got any other announcements that you needed to catch up on?
Right now I feel like I'm in West Virginia because we got country roads being played in front of us. You can
country
hear that.
home, country
home.
roads.
Yeah.
Take me home, country roads, I meant to say.
So the last announcement, or, moving forward into homecoming week, we've got volleyball next Friday, the 14th, at Bandera, and then Gerald football next Friday night, homecoming.
Woo! Yeah, get excited for that.
So if you're, we hadn't even talked about this, but we had someone listen from or watch the broadcast from Korea.
Wow, Korea. We talked about Charlie Walker tonight being in Guam. He's a sailor and a graduate from Navarro, played for Navarro at football.
So, yeah, if you're from afar, maybe throw it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Throw it out there in the chat, and we'll pull it out, and we'll make sure to give you a shout-out in the next game, homecoming next week.
All right, 4th down. Panthers run it right up the middle, and he's going to be short.
Yeah, it looks short even from up here. And I would have guessed the follow or that pitch out that Panthers have ran. I would have guessed that. But
right. Because they've had a lot of success running to the outside. So,
well, this game, I hate to say this, but this game is not over yet. With 5:13 remaining in the 4th quarter, even though the Panthers up 42-21, another score here, takes it to a 2-score game. I tell you what, in high school football, anything's possible. And the Panthers defense needs to really step up here as they did earlier in this first half. They need to really go after. I think Bowen Staub has been the key in these last 2 drives for Lago Vista. And
he has. He's had some success running the ball, which we haven't really seen much tonight.
Right.
From him running the ball. So Panthers need to buckle their seatbelts and get back. So he's going to drop back. He's going to throw. He's getting some pressure from Bro Brumley. He throws it up, and Walker Dietz just center field plays it, and he returns it back out to about the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
And man.
Oh, now he gets a flag. He spins the ball.
Oh, goodness.
You can't do that in high school football. Sorry.
Oh,
That's just one thing that you got to learn as a player, that you got to know, and that's going to take you back 15 yards from that spot, taking a Panther to 15. But, hey, best part of it, he played center field like you said. He got the interception, and we'll take it from there.
That's
Let
right.
Coach Blunt deal with that issue.
That's right. We got the ball back with 5 minutes and 1 second to go. And, man, Walker just plays Dietz plays that center field well. And, he's a freshman. He'll learn, right?
On the return tree, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I just don't understand, though, where, there was either a mix-up in the route running or where Bowen – Staub was thinking his receiver was going. I don't know what player, messed up between the two, because it was either the receiver or the quarterback not knowing where one was going, because there was nobody really within about 10 yards of Walker when he intercepted that ball.
Yeah, and it may be that he just, we talked about it, Staub. He likes to chunk it up, right?
Help his
get a little
receivers
air. And I don't know.
Because I was just, it looked like one receiver ran the go route and then he was expecting a post or something,
The Panthers take over at their own 22. They run a dive play up the middle. And looks like Lago Vista's trying to strip the ball, but they're unsuccessful in that attempt.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Lago Vista fans feel like they've got 12 players out there against them tonight, you know. But, you know, I think this was a really good called game thus far with a few little, you know, issues here and there. But other than that, I've you know, it's always about the winning team thinking, yeah, I think it was a fairly called game, a fairly good called game.
It's been a pretty clean game outside of a couple of.
Sure.
So Bryce is he's running a bootleg. He's loose.
Yeah.
He's out to the 40, down to the 45.
Yeah, and he had green turf in front of him.
He did.
And rolling out that way, you know, he was looking for receivers down the field, but that's the beauty of it when you get the quarterback moving like Bryce Nall. He's a good running. He's our leading rusher.
He's our leading rusher
coming into the game,
right? So the clock is down to 3:50 and counting here in the fourth quarter. The Panthers up 42-21. The ball's out to their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10, and it'd be nice just to see us grind it out here. Which we hand it straight up the middle, and that's Xavier Cropper, number 10.
Yeah, we've seen him early in the year making some big plays as well as he was filling in, one of the fill-ins for Colton Chambers. So, and you got to admit, Colton Chambers tonight really showed a lot of pep in his step, just hitting the hole hard and that sort of thing. So
right.
I'm still sitting there thinking, who could be the player of the game? There's another play on defense that I'm thinking about too, because it's been one of those nights that we called his name many times already tonight on defense.
So the ball rests at the 49-yard line of the Vikings. Bryce hands off. Gabriel Rangel, he cuts through and makes it, and he's quick
on cue. He was the one I was talking about on the defensive side of the ball. So he now shows you what he can do on the offensive side of the ball.
So Rangel picks up the first down. Panthers bring it inside the 45-yard line. The ball's going to rest at the 43 of the Vikings. 2:42 and counting left here tonight.
So now the Panthers, I think, are
run the play clock down, and
they're in the driver's seat, and they can take this thing home.
Bryce hands it off. It looks like Cohen Blunt up the middle. And he's going to be brought down inside or right about the 40-yard line of the Vikings.
Yeah.
Maybe a 39. This looks like where the linesman on this side has spotted the ball.
And what I liked I've seen tonight, though, I mean, and I haven't even talked about it a whole lot. I talked about it a little bit, you know, in past games. But the offensive line tonight, yeah, I mean, they're pushing players all around. They're so physical tonight. I've seen a lot of physicality by the offensive line tonight. And
right.
And if I could give it to a player game, I would say it would be the whole offensive line tonight.
Right. So they hands it off coming this way. That's Caleb Garcia, number 20, and he stopped quickly. But it looks like number 12 for the Vikings.
Yeah, just
I'm sorry, number 18.
Just nowhere really to go on that one.
Dombach with the stop for the Vikings.
So now the Panthers have a minute 26 to go. They can take their record to 3-3 overall, but the biggest number, 1-0 in district, which it looks like our big foes over there in Wimberley, they're just winning that game. It was 56-7 the last time I looked.
So handoff to the left side, Rangel, he's running down. Flag comes in. Looks like
well, from 30 yards away.
And I'm not sure that I would say holding, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you usually don't see holding, but it might have been a block below the waist or something like that outside the tackle box.
Right.
But as it came from the side judge threw it about 30 yards.
The penalty.
Let's see. Unless they're walking it off.
I was going to say, I thought he pointed chop block.
Oh, they cut.
Cut.
You can't cut below the waist as a defender. Remember, I was telling you earlier, you can't do that on either side of the ball now. And you can't take out a running back or a lineman by taking their legs out outside the tackle box. And this clearly, it's one of those that, wow, you don't see very often.
So the ball rests at the 14-yard line. We are going to get in victory formation for the Panthers.
Yeah.
So we're going to take this home tonight.
Oh, wow. the Panthers have done a wonderful job.
As the clock ticks down, this one's going to end up, unless we get some miracle fumble like back in the day.
No, 33 seconds.
The New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles played a game and they dropped the ball, but it wouldn't matter because
or Craig fumbling the ball in San Francisco, giving it to New York in an NFC Championship game.
You're right.
I go, wow, 16 seconds and
so. That's going to do it, folks.
Yeah.
The Panthers are going to take home a big victory here tonight, 42-21, and go 1-0 in district play. And, wow.
Yeah, that is. Woo! And there it goes. It's at 0, so it's the Panthers win the first district game of the season tonight, and the first played district game. They go 1-0 against Lago Vista. Lago Vista coming in looked like they were the big favorite, and everybody said, oh, we got to watch Lago Vista, and they're going to be the team to beat. Well, tonight, the Panthers get to welcome to 4A football and smash mouth kind of football the way the Panthers play on the slot tee. 42-21 is the final as the Navarro Panthers are victorious tonight. So we're going to stay tuned with us as we're going to have Scott Kibbe come in and give us our final stats. We'll go over a few little scores, talk about some predictions about next week. But we'll be back after this sponsor message as you're watching Panther football on the Navarro Panther Network, powered by the Panther Posse.
So we're back here to Lago Vista, Texas, where tonight the final was the Panthers 42, the Vikings 21. We're going to talk about our player of the game tonight. Hank?
Yeah, we have to give it to a running back, and that's Colton Chambers. Welcome back, because even though he may not have had the most yards, I think he had the biggest impact. And it's like giving it to that offensive line. When you give it to a running back,
right,
there's no way that running back is going to get it on his own without that offensive line.
That's right.
But we give it to Colton Chambers, the player of the game tonight. We went through, Mr. Rangel on defense. He had a great game tonight. I think we called his name tons of times.
Right.
And then, but you still had Mabane came back. He was another one that made some big plays early on, But I still think this game was, a combination of playing all phases of the game well. And, but you have to give it to somebody, and I think it goes to Colton Chambers and that offensive line.
Right, I agree. And, that, man, you said it. It was a tough decision tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, the Panthers played a really good team football game. They played good special teams, played an incredible defensive game, by far the best game that we've seen against a good football team.
Right.
And, I mean, this is no slouch of a football team. Lago Vista came in 4-1. They've got a great program. They went to the 5th round last year in the playoffs. And they've got a bunch of good seniors on this team. So
and like you said earlier, we could expect to play them in the playoffs on either the 3rd or 4th round. There's a possibility for that.
Yeah, if we take care of business the 1st and 2nd round, and they do too, there's a decent chance. Yeah, we could see them in the 3rd round or possibly the 4th round. So this may not be our only game here against the Vikings this year. So
we might get to see them again, because I don't know. We talked about a couple of teams that are out there in Region 4, and Region 4 has some good teams, but they're losing some of their key players, and that could be a big factor for those teams like Sinton, Raymondville, Port Isabel. You know, they've gone through some hard knocks with some of their players as well, and so we still got to be prepared no matter what. You've got to play through this, and I think next week game at Gerald, even though Gerald gets pretty much, last time I looked, they were down 56-7. It may have been 56-14 at that one point, but still, it was 56-7 when I last looked, with Wimberley leading Gerald. But then Austin Achieve was losing to the Titans of Maine or New Tech, 20-0 when I last looked.
Okay.
But I haven't got any updates on those guys either. But Seguin, look to the Seguin had the same exact score. 42-21 is what it shows on my score list. So Seguin and Navarro come away victorious with the same score, 42-21. And then Marion Bulldogs 48-6 over the Blanco Panthers tonight. And Wimberley Texans 66-14 with only 5 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter is what I have. So, So now we've got the we're actually waiting on Scott Kibbe. I see him down there coming up.
Yeah, he's coming up. Well,
get us the final stats, because I do want to hear the final stats.
I would love to hear it.
And
if I run back through our keys to the game, which we mentioned the first 3 while he's coming up, was control, stop, and control the run and the pass and pressure him and stay in your lanes. And man, they did that. The Panthers did that.
Control the ball.
Controlled. All of
with
that.
big plays that I didn't expect, but
right.
We had a good mixture tonight of grinding it out and then making the big plays when we had to.
We had to block number 42, which actually he put on number 52 tonight. Was big David Garcia.
Oh, you can't hide him.
You can't hide him. And we did that as well. And then number 3 was force some turnovers, and we did force a turnover. Yeah. And I don't think we had a turnover, did we? We forced 2 turnovers, right? We had Bryce had an interception and Dietz had an interception, so 2 turnovers. But here's our guy, and he's going to put on his headset.
Yeah, we'll get
Scott Kibbe's going to give us. We're going to find out how many turnovers we got. So, but yeah, it's going to be a fun bus ride back to Navarro for the boys, right?
Yeah, and they're off on Monday, so oh my goodness, stay healthy. No. Don't do anything. You got practice on Monday, so all right. So we're going to bring in Scott Kibbe here. Scott, welcome to the post-game show here on Navarro Panther Network, and and thanks to all the students out here. We really appreciate them, and Javier and Marina helping us all out. So let's talk about the stats now real quick.
All right. For the Panthers, 16 first downs, 54 rushes for 391 yards, 9 passing yards, so 400 even for total yards. 1 out of 2 on passes, 2 punts, 34-yard average, 1 fumble, did not lose it, 3 penalties for 25 yards. Mebane leading the way, 9 carries, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chambers, 12 carries, 95 yards, 3 touchdowns. Okay. For Lago Vista, 12 first downs, 31 rushes for 114 yards, 160 passing yards, 7 out of 20 with 1 interception I had. They were actually only one completion in the entire second half. That was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Four punts for 38.3. One fumble, did not lose it. 11 penalties, 117 yards.
Woo.
They lost their composure tonight. There was no question.
That's exactly what me and Lance had talked about, that they had lost their composure. Even their coach, maybe he was trying to stick up for his quarterback, but, man, you can't pile it on. I mean, you already had a 15-yarder. I mean, you get another one, and that's 30 yards. And that I think that series there took them out of the game.
And they got a 5th down on that series.
Yeah.
I will probably. I'm not sure when I've seen that, but that was 4th down,
Yeah.
and they called it 3rd. The officials badly messed that up. Didn't matter.
Right.
But we were saying Coach Blunt was arguing it.
We heard it on the mic because the official had the mic open when he was talking to Coach Blunt.
He was right. They just didn't get it, but fortunately it didn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
What was the rushing yards there, Scott?
Navarro 391.
No, for Lago Vista.
114.
114 on how many carries?
31.
31. Woo. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I'd have to tally sacks. I think I have at least 3, maybe 4 sacks. I've got them now.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easily.
Right.
But lots of pressures, lots of just keeping that quarterback on the run.
Bo Brumley and Ringhell and Aridius. I mean, just we're relentless tonight, and they stayed in the lanes. That's what we talked about. We didn't have somebody way sucked in or way outside. They were playing their lanes, and the Panthers played their best football they played all year long, I think, tonight. So it's been something else, So I've really felt like this was the game tonight that the Panthers needed, and they get a big jump on it.
Give a lot of credit to the Panther coaching staff. They you can tell they just coached their hearts out for this thing, and a lot of changes, a lot of things Lago wasn't used to seeing.
Right.
Didn't expect to see. They didn't expect to see number 1 out there. That's for sure.
I bet.
I don't think they knew what he could do. But
he really took Mabane, and it shows his elusiveness because he's not taken down easily on the first hit. He can bounce around, shift, make that jump cut. And so Mabane, is a real threat when he's on the field.
And he hits that hole so fast. We were marveling from watching it. It was run second half. It's like we haven't seen anybody hit it that fast in a long time here.
And Colton Chambers, we thought the same. We gave him play of the game because his impact that we thought was huge because, I mean, one of the runs, it was clearly – boom, he got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to bounce off and he was gone.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, we're seeing different players. And I said it, I thought the team was rejuvenated tonight.
Absolutely.
Including those players. And I think they were the ones that took off and was the leaders tonight, Mabane and Colton Chambers. But that offensive line, you have to say, made the holes when we needed them.
Terrific job. I mean, the thing that things went well early for them. Things were right that said this is going to be different. But you talk about running backs to depth. There was one point, we were about midway through the first quarter, I had 7 different guys who carried for the Panthers already.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you could just bring in those fresh backs, that's going to wear a team like this down.
Yeah, and it did. I think we saw it in the front. Even though that they still kept they still kept us from gaining a lot of yards there towards the end. You would have thought, hey, we'd have been able to run on them with ease being that tired. But you got to hand it to them. They were still shutting us down. Lance said it several times. They're not giving us an inch,
Right.
Kept fighting, with a team like this, they know they can come from behind.
Right.
If you're given the opportunity. That's why they were so scary.
Yeah.
Thinking you never felt quite safe until that last interception.
Yep. Well, thanks, Scott Kibbe, and we look forward to seeing your article in the Seguin Gazette this Sunday. And you'll have a recap of what's happened here tonight and hopefully give us some insights on some things that we didn't see.
And probably in this case, because of the late deadline, our online edition will have a longer story than what's going to be in the paper on Sundays. They've kind of pushed the deadlines a little bit.
Well, I subscribe to the online, so
it
works out.
Yeah, I do the online. Me
too.
That'll be more complete. So
all right. Thanks again, Scott Kibbe. We always appreciate your input, and we'll see you next week at homecoming in the press box.
All right, can't wait.
All right.
Have a safe trip home.
All right, Lance. Well, that's about it. I think we're about ready to wrap this thing up, and I'm going to let you take us home and all, and and tell the folks bye and all that good stuff. And I don't know if we should do one last thing about the QR code because I'd like to see that up so the the kiddos could get And I say kiddos, the students out here, they're packing everything up. They're getting everything ready. They're ready to go home, but they're the ones that make this happen. That QR code gives them the donation they need to keep this thing running and get it going strong, and that's for the Audiovisual Club here at Navarro. So we'd like for you to take your phone, get the QR code to take you to the PayPal link, and then make your donation there. It could be $5, $2, $10, whatever you like, and whatever you can afford. So we'd appreciate anything, and we really appreciate the support tonight as well. So, well, Lance?
Well, I tell you, big win, big win. I can't say it enough. Panthers win tonight here in Lago Vista, Texas, 42-21. They opened District 1-0. And, folks, you have been watching Panther football on the Navarro Panther Network, powered by the Panther Posse.
There you go. We got it.
Have a safe trip home, and good night.